And good morning, and we are happy. Well, I'm not that happy to be back.
Well, you're happy to be alive.
I'm happy to be alive.
Howard left me a message because I, like an idiot, had the worst timing and had to throw a party at the last possible minute, and Howard called me back, and, dude, you sounded so content and happy. And you were like,
yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, though. I really am. It sounds awesome.
Well, Artie was inviting me to his lovely new home, but I said, I'm not leaving my home to come to your home.
You have a lovely new
Artie's
home.
home twice.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah.
Well, what's going on there?
Well, I went to that party that he threw, such as it was.
Right, whatever it was.
Was there any food there?
There was food, but Artie's very funny. He says, Robin, if you want to eat, there's
sausage and
peppers. He didn't say there was sausage and peppers.
Right.
He said there's some
pick the
peppers in there, and there's lots of different kind of tomatoes. Well, the peppers were in the sausage and peppers, and the tomato was in the mozzarella.
Yeah, I know.
Artie really knows how to take care of his guests.
Well, no, I mean, everybody else loved it, but but Robin, I did. I picked the peppers. I had amazing pizza, sausage and peppers, meatballs, bread. I mean, everybody loved it,
Artie,
but,
what was there to drink at your party?
Well, I had vodka, beer on
Where
tap.
was the vodka?
There was vodka in the freezer.
Nobody knew that. Artie stayed in the shower about 2 hours.
Wow.
Why?
I had some company.
He's like Hef. Hey, did I get a word that you guys were in a helicopter firing off machine guns?
Yes.
You did.
Did you fire on the enemy?
No, we just fired at the sand, but
Howard,
it was the most awesome
Isn't
thing.
there a danger like that you guys could like hit some pedestrian or?
Well,
Howard, you got to see where we were.
Pedestrian.
There's no pedestrians.
There's no one in the
It's
desert?
fucking sand as far as the eye can
You
see.
could tell. Okay, believe me, there's 2 million stories. So just let me, if you like this story.
Nobody
about
gets
the
in trouble when you guys are firing off
I don't
machine
know.
guns?
I don't
well,
know.
the helicopter pilot. Okay, we're on a Black Hawk helicopter, all right?
Right.
Because, quite frankly, they said to us, look, you guys, we think you're funny and everything, but you're not, like Robin Williams or Billy Crystal. You're going to places where, they're real remote bases.
You're going to hell.
We went
These are-
145 miles north of Kandahar.
Right.
Like in the fucking desert.
Like anyone knows where the fuck Kandahar is,
Right,
anyway.
really.
Right.
So we fly in a military jet to plane to Kandahar, which was an experience, and then they said we do a show in Kandahar. Went really good, and then the next morning, this really great guy, Jeff Anthony, who's a Vietnam vet, and he was our USO guy, he says, all right, before we go to bed that night, he comes in with huge flap jackets, bulletproof vests, helmets. He goes, all right, now tomorrow, you're going to need to put these on, so I got to show you how to put them around. So, of course, mine doesn't fit. It was so embarrassing.
I have such a great picture of
I
Artie.
saw it with his belly hanging out of his flak
Well,
jacket.
the
Is it flak or flap?
It's flak.
Flak jacket.
We spent the whole week not correcting Artie.
Right.
The next day,
Flapjacks.
Garrett,
He's screaming
Garrett,
at pancakes, flapjacks.
Garrett, all
Look
right.
at Artie. There's military Artie.
Yes.
Afghan Artie.
I should have corrected Gary about a few things called jokes, but anyway. So
Flapjacks.
So, by the way,
Wait a minute.
they had flapjacks there.
did.
So
But tell him how you had to fly in the cockpit.
I'm trying to. All right, so the next morning, Gary's fits like a glove. DePaulo, Florentine, everybody. This guy Jeff Anthony, not that it means anything. He's a black guy, and Vietnam vet. And the next morning, I walk out and clearly it doesn't fit. So I'm walking over to him, and we're about to get on a Black Hawk helicopter, and it's so funny. He was the greatest guy, and he anticipated everything because he was a nom. He didn't care about anything. Before I say it doesn't fit, he sees me coming down the hall. He goes, brother, I'm way ahead of you. There's an extender in the back.
They got such a thing as an extender?
Yeah, so he extended it, and Nick was my roommate, so Nick had to put my jacket on with the bulletproof vest, and then the helmet fit, whatever. So,
but this picture I'm looking at, the extender barely worked. I mean, your belly is still
they
sticking
can
out.
still shoot him in the belly.
I wasn't.
How's that going to protect you? Because you take a bullet in that belly, Kelly over there.
I don't. You know, at this point, I didn't give a shit because where we had a shit every night was, quite frankly, I'd rather be dead.
Right.
Is
that right? Were the
I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, well, Gary, you know, you're not as classy as
No, I thought for being in the middle of the desert in makeshift place, I thought the shitter was much nicer than I expected.
Really?
I'll tell you what, I said if the shitters that I have on the road in most of the cities were as nice, I'd be happier because the Army, me and Gary were talking about this, the budget is so big, they go to these, deserts and they build a mini city. You know, it's
the toilet worse than K-Rock's? You remember how bad it was?
But I think they flew in the same pubic hair that was on K-Rock's faucet for 20 years.
When you get 1,000 guys.
Quick questions and answers because, we could be here all day.
Well, so let me just tell the broad story is funny too at my house, but anyway,
go ahead.
We did shoot the gun, so I'll get to that right after this. Okay. I promise. So before Robin and Jim got there, I went upstairs and I'm taking a shower, and I did take a long shower, and it was a steam, and so I missed when they got there. So when I went down, they went out for one. And I'm like, fuck, Robin came here. She's been here a while. I'm not even at the party, the host. So
I don't understand.
Hey,
you had people come into the house and you were in the shower the whole time?
Well, no. I greeted Robin was there. Robin and Jim were there late. So I greeted everybody. And, I don't give a shit. I know these guys. I say, I got to go shower. I didn't shower yet. Just when people get here, tell them where the food is. I'm going to go shower.
Howard, can I jump in for a second?
What do people do? They swim and they shower and they...
Yeah, I say do it. I got an outdoor shower. I said do whatever the fuck you want.
All right.
So all I want to say is, Artie, because this gets it started.
Artie hates you right now.
No, it's ending it.
All right, fine.
No, go ahead. Say what it is, Gary. I'm sure it's hilarious.
Oh.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Go ahead, Gary.
Well, you guys
No, we got along great.
I've seen a lot of Gary lately.
I've seen a lot of Artie.
No, go ahead, Gary.
I called Artie at noon to thank him for inviting me, and I woke him up, and he goes, "Oh my God, thank God you woke me up. Everyone's coming in 20 minutes."
Right. Right. Okay. That was funny. So anyway, I'm
glad you interrupted for that.
Yeah.
But you wanted Gary in here. You wanted him to.
No, for the military stories, yeah, we're gonna need each other. But he wasn't even at the party. Oh. So I miss Robin for that. So I get out of the shower, and the girl Jessica and the other girl are there. And I go downstairs, I spend some time with Robin, and I'm telling the Afghanistan stories by the pool and everything, and I'm trying to pick peppers out of the meat sauce. And then I'm only with Robin now for about a half an hour. Right. And the girl comes up to me, and I thought she was staying all night. And she says, listen, my friend's got to leave, and she's my ride. I got to leave in like a half an hour. And I'm like, oh, I thought you were staying. She's like, no, I'm sorry.
Where's she going? Back to Pittsburgh?
She had to go to New York, and then, she had to go to New York for a job. I won't say what she does for a living, but she had to go around. So she goes, but... what Robin overheard.
Yeah, I want to spend some time with you.
I want to spend some time with you. I want
to.
She goes, she's not like a stripper or anything, but she goes, I've been practicing like lap dancing, and I want to give you a lap dance. So I said a private lap dance. So I'm like, you know what, Robin can handle herself. This is fine. The other girl really wasn't like into anybody, but very nice. So I put her up in the man cave and let her have
hang
fun
out.
And. Look, I wanted her to clap her hands so she wouldn't steal anything. And I go into my room with this girl, and she goes, I want to give you a lap dance. So I shut all the shades, but the door is a little ajar, and I'm on the third floor, and you can hear people, like whatever, sort of talking on the pool. And she says, I need music. So I don't have a radio in there yet. She goes, now I'm like so fucking horny. I got the TV on. I got the digital cable. I'm trying to find a fucking music channel.
Right.
I'm like, what kind of music you like? She goes, and you know how these young, she's in her 20s.
Why don't you have Teddy come up and sing?
Well, yeah, really. He could have stomped his feet.
That would have been romantic. That would have been romantic. So anyway, I'm like, what kind of music you like? And you know how these younger girls now, they know, like, there's so many different types of music, like, mixed with other types.
Mixed with jams, mashes.
Right, exactly.
Mashups or whatever they're called, yeah.
She goes, do you have any, like,
mashups,
hip-hop with a reggae rap? Do you have a Nas featuring Rihanna? Blankety blank MC fuckface? And I'm like, I don't know. So I see rock, I see classic rock. Finally, I get to a rap thing, and it's a good sign because there's a Biggie Smalls song on.
Right.
And I really do like a lot of Biggie Smalls. I think that
Right.
guy was a talented rapper. So I said, I could deal with this. She goes, this is fine. So I put it up, as loud as I can without disturbing the guests who have no food. And she starts giving me a lap dance.
Wow.
Again, I've been with the girl before. So.
Right. So.
So she gets undressed.
See, that's hot.
She's wearing like a thong,
Right.
and a really nice bra, and she starts giving me a lap dance, and she's like trying to imitate strippers, like what they do, but
Right.
she was being real sort of like sensuous.
Yes.
And we couldn't do it on the bed; there was no leverage. So I brought a chair over, by
Like a strip club.
Right, exactly. So I put a chair over by the bed. Now.
See, I like that.
I start like necking with her, and she wasn't stopping me. And then I did the greatest move ever for a man my size. She came into me, and I sort of grabbed her, and I sort of just did like a roll onto the bed.
From the chair.
Yeah, very nice. It was like Earl Monroe.
You still have the move.
I do. But the thing is,
for you.
I could have crushed her. So we get on the bed, and I start making out with her. And again, the girl, she's like 25. This girl,
So the lap dance is over at this point.
At this
You've
point,
ruined
she
it.
said, "Well, she said, look, you get the special treatment." So she took her bra off,
Right.
And now I'm taking shit off,
Right.
And at this point, I'm really, really upset that Robin had no wine.
But you do have to have wine at a party.
Yeah, right. I know.
I mean, not everyone drinks Jack Daniels.
At a fag party, you gotta. So I roll her over onto the bed, and her bra comes off.
Right.
And, I start kissing her. She doesn't stop me. And I take her, panties off. One thing led to another. I don't know. I mean,
Right. You made love.
we did what came naturally. And,
Sounds like a great girl, actually.
yeah. Now,
Did one of your friends accidentally walk in on you?
no, that would have been a great addition. If John,
That would be like a strip club.
Yeah, right, exactly. If John Hine came in and started asking her, Happy Days trivia. So
But I was handed a note that said you didn't get laid because, maybe this will ruin the story. I don't know.
What?
Is this where you're ending up? That she was on her period?
No, who said that?
She announced she was on her period.
Who
No,
said
no,
that?
no,
I
no.
didn't hear
Didn't-
that.
That's what these guys are writing.
No, she was not on her period.
He was there. He was away long enough that they must have.
She was not on her period. She was fine. There was no
All right. Go ahead. I don't know why they're giving me that note. Everyone fucks me up. Go ahead.
So anyway, I roll over on the bed, and one thing leads to another, and whatever. It's like but the door was ajar. Okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of hear everything. And now I always talk about like if Robin was laughing at you naked, how
Right.
really embarrassing it would be. So while I'm lying there naked, I hear Robin laughing downstairs. and I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, this is
She
like
outside the door.
this is like living a nightmare." And it's like, I'm sitting
You know
there,
what I
Robin's
like
laughing.
about this story? I don't know Artie's new girl, but
She's not my new girl. We're not. We're not.
I don't know who this is, but I'm saying a girl. Oh,
She
easy,
did.
Robin.
She really took care of Artie.
Yeah, I'm saying, boy, even if you've been with a girl and then she says, I'm going to give you a lap dance, that's really hot.
I think a lot of chicks now, because that's so public.
Right.
It's the big new thing, the
Yeah.
stripper pole and the jazz. They have those classes, where
Right.
the aerobics.
Oh, you
classes
can learn
that
how
are-
to strip.
Right,
Yeah. So I.
Look at you like Hef with the new house
So
and
basi-
chicks running around
Well, let
and
me
lap
tell
dances.
you, after he had his,
Yeah.
fun, he basically threw everybody out.
No,
Did he really?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. She's.
Artie, you came down and you said, "All right, let me give you a tour of the house."
That's what I did. Yeah, I said, "Let me." How's that throwing you out?
Hold it. He gives us a little tour of the house, and then he looked at us and said, "Aren't you gonna leave?"
I did. You know what? Now she's lying.
Wow. What are you guys gonna do? Leave?
Robin, you're lying.
That's how I am. I have parties and I can't wait for everyone to go.
Now Robin is outright lying. I mean, she's outright lying.
She says she's saying.
I did not say that.
Oh, you did too.
No, I didn't.
Everybody else had already gone.
No, they didn't.
Oh my.
Robin's getting
Does
everything
Robin
wrong.
stay too long at the fair?
Do you know the website robinswrong.com?
Right.
You're gonna start logging.
I got
in?
a bunch of entries. I'm gonna get on my little fucking
So
BlackBerry.
Robin, you would.
This is how it felt to me.
You
was
felt
like,
not
what
welcome.
are you guys gonna do now? Leave?
No, I did not say that.
Artie wanted to go back to bed and shower.
Some of my friends, maybe are racist. Maybe you were uncomfortable. I don't know.
No, but Artie did take another shower. That's what, these showers last for.
Well, the girl was on her period anyway.
So you constantly shower.
Because when you're fat and it's,
Yeah.
Plus, I love the shower. I'm telling you, I wanted to write my book in the shower.
So the party was no wine, no.
Artie's in the shower when you arrive.
Right, and then Artie showers.
No,
some
you
more.
got there late.
And then he gets his lap dance, and then
And then he throws you out.
You got there late.
I said,
Sorry, I missed it.
This was the second funniest party I had ever been to.
Yeah, well, it's a guy party, You shouldn't have been there.
I said it was a sausage party.
Right.
People are in the pool enjoying it. I don't know where they are.
We had a great time.
Anyway.
Len, you're on the air in Brick, New Jersey. Hi, Len.
Hey, I saw Robin on Friday pulling up to Artie's house on her boat, and I saw her on the dock, and she was dressed in a wetsuit.
Do you wear a wetsuit?
No, I wasn't wearing a wetsuit.
How's it feel, Robin? Someone's lying.
There's another one.
On.
A flapjack.
A flapjack.
She hated it so much she was over the next day. I couldn't get rid of her.
So now she has a destination with that boat.
Oh my God! Yeah, and actually, Robin actually looked very good.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Well, she's lost a lot of weight.
She had these black shorts on.
Well, really, with ass hanging out?
and the captain of her boat, Dennis, is a real nice guy, like a guy's guy.
You wore shorts?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm telling
Hot
you.
pants?
No.
Well, I don't know.
How short
they
are
weren't
they?
Daisy Dukes.
Does the bottom of your ass hang out?
No, that would be a Daisy Duke.
All right.
I'm telling you, she looked fucking good. I mean, I'm
She's
like,
got to. She got a big man in her life.
yeah, I know, but I
A
really,
lot of pressure there.
I'm really happy that she said she was going through all that shit, like nearly dying, like I'm going through now. And but she rolls up in this boat. She's got this beautiful boat,
Right.
And Martin Luther King must love this. A white guy's driving her in a beautiful boat, and she's ordering him around. She's like, Dennis, park the boat there. On the phone, you said something, though. You're running out of water. That means it was getting too shallow for you
Yeah,
to...
we were churning a little mud. Because, if you don't find the channel, we didn't know exactly where it was because there are no real markers.
Yeah, sometimes I can't find the right channel and I go into some mud toe.
And so once we found the channel, we were pretty okay because we were afraid we couldn't get there.
All right, Dominic Barber, you're on the air.
Welcome back, everyone. When we get to Afghanistan, can we go right from the beginning?
Well, I was trying to interview the boys about Afghanistan, but I don't know. It didn't go well.
But right from the beginning, because we're all like bated breath. We've heard all sorts of stories that they were attacked.
Right. All right, Dominic, I'll handle it. Dominic
made the page, the Russian Malloy article.
Yeah, they quoted him.
Anyway, it was great having Robin.
Yeah,
it was
you guys
fun.
are a
And she
little bit-
docked her boat, and I got on her boat, too, in the back just to end this. And, I mean, my God, I don't know if you remember, there's a table back there like, I'm sounding like a Jersey jerk-off, but the boat had like a table on it. But you could sit there and have like a party of 6 people with drinks, and it's beautiful. And she docked it right on my perpendicular, and I don't know, I think me and Robin are going to become an item, I think.
I think so. I think I'll have to come pick up Artie Love the Boat.
Are you happy, Robin? You have somewhere to go with your boat now?
Dennis and I were so happy we didn't know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah.
How long
you
did
see,
it take-
Robin bought a boat and has nowhere to go with it.
I love getting on the
And-
boat and just going,
and she-
but it was fun to go somewhere.
Right, you
for
wanted a
change.
destination, because I know people with boats and I don't get the whole boat thing.
Right.
It's not something that interests
You
me.
would never get a boat?
Never.
Not even a yacht or
No,
anything?
so
I don't
much
understand.
fun.
I don't understand it. It's just not me. I'm not a boat guy. Once I'm on there, I feel trapped. And
I love them, but...
yeah, and it's like, you get on there, and I have friends like this, and they're like, oh, when they finally have a destination. Oh, my God, they're so happy. Like, they feel like they're Columbus, and they're going to go find a new boat.
And that was what it was like. We found Artie's house.
Yeah, so now that Robin has somewhere to go, she's going to be at your house like every weekend.
Her
because-
Ralph Zolar is going to be floating by.
Yeah, I mean, no, because Robin now has, like, oh, I know, I'll drive over to Artie.
Well, you know what? You're right about that, because when I was growing up, my Uncle Frankie had a small boat, a small house on a lagoon.
Right.
And he had a guy across the street from him that had a boat that had enough radar equipment to sail from here to Madrid, and he would go up and down the lagoon and just wave high, and then just he did nothing.
No, there's nothing. It's
That's
endless water.
Remember, Rob, remember the story when we went on Dominic's boat, we were going to the Mohegan Sun.
Yes.
Remember we did that together?
Right.
And you seemed to enjoy that, because I remember we were talking on the boat, and it was kind of fun.
I tried to make the best of it, but I did not enjoy it.
But I was telling Robin, because Robin has that real cool thing when you go down, there's like a bed at the like sort of the bow. What's the
It's
front?
in the bow, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a cabin below.
And
as
you
they
could
say.
lay
Yeah.
down there. And I remember on the way back from the Mohegan Sun, I was tanked and I was trying to sober up by letting the wind hit me. And then Howard had enough, so him and Richie Notar went downstairs. And about 20 minutes later, we go down here, and it was just a funny scene. Howard and Richie Notar are on that little bed bullshitting with each other, and it looked like pillow talk after that.
That's funny.
You were down because it's
I
comfortable.
don't like the wind hitting me in the face every minute, so I went down there to relax.
It was
and
all-
I can't talk when the fucking wind is in my mouth, and I'm yelling and then it's just also futile. I don't know.
I agree, because when I was talking
hate
to you,
it.
I felt bad because I remember
boats.
going to the Mohegan Sun.
I do. I hate boats. I wish they never invented the boat.
Oh
Well,
my God,
Dominic-
we wouldn't be here if they hadn't invented the boat.
I wish man is not meant to be on the water.
Columbus got here first on a boat.
First of all,
Should have taken a plane. What an asshole.
First of all, Dominic almost killed a person on the boat
Right.
that day, and then.
But let me stop you for a minute,
Go
because
ahead.
people are curious, and
Go
Dominic
ahead,
brings up a
obviously.
good point. Okay, so you guys went to Afghanistan. We are
did.
now clarifying that it was not Iraq, because for some reason this was so top secret.
Well, somebody could have been after them, right?
All right,
They wouldn't even-
Al Qaeda.
We did get bombed. I mean,
did.
shit, they were right.
So anyway, the fact of the matter is, we were asked. Artie came in one day and said to me, "Don't say we're going to Afghanistan. Say
Yes.
we're going to Iraq." So that's why we said Iraq. All right. So, how long did it take you to get there?
Yeah, we started our trip in New York, or Artie in New Jersey. 8.5 hours to Frankfurt, Germany.
Right. Was that horrible?
No, that was great. 'Cause it took a pill. It was overnight. That's great.
Now, me and Jimmy are Jerseyites, so me and Jimmy left from Newark, and Dave Attell and Gary and Nick DiPaolo all left from JFK. So the first leg we weren't all together, but we landed we were supposed to land in Frankfurt, Germany.
Anybody nervous?
At the same
At
time.
this point, you were a little bit. You had some anxiety.
I gotta say, Gary is a brave guy, because there were times I was very nervous, but Gary was. You never really see him that nervous about anything, and he did a great job for Howard TV. He's got amazing footage, and
He's not nervous because he looked like an Arab.
I felt well protected.
Yeah.
I did.
yeah, the kids over, and I say kids, and I got when we tell the story about when we were bombed, it'll prove it. They really do make you feel safe, man. Everybody's walking around like they have those PXs, which is like a 7-Eleven
Right.
with everything in it on. And you're waiting online with toothpaste or something, and the guy in front of you and a girl in back of you are casually waiting to pay with literally M16s loaded on their fucking shoulder. I mean, and when you're around them, you feel safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go to Frankfurt. Our plane is late. So Artie and the USO guy and Jim go ahead to Istanbul. We get stuck. We miss a plane. We got to catch the next plane. We get there. There's a 4-hour layover. Suffice to say, then from Istanbul, you go to Kyrgyzstan, Russia. I'd say that whole trip with layovers and everything, probably around 20, 21 hours.
Wow.
And you're able to sleep. You didn't get bored? Because I know you get easily
No,
bored.
I didn't get bored.
Did you
What
get
happened was-
magazines to read?
I brought DVDs to watch, magazines to read, books to read.
Gary is well prepared for a plane.
Yeah.
I'll
He's
tell
like
you.
a chick. He's got a bag.
So
you
no,
know.
so Jim's another one. Jim had 87 books and DVDs and everything. So when I got to Istanbul,
Right.
I went into the lounge, and Artie and the USO guy and Jim were all flat out sleeping.
Do you have that picture?
I do. I have a picture of Artie on his back.
You got to put it on the website.
It's a funny picture because shirts riding up and everything. Then we all got
My belly looks like my belly in this picture. We're in the Istanbul Turkey Business Lounge. I had just been flying for 18 hours. I fall asleep on the fucking couch, and my gut is coming out of my skirt. Gary or somebody snapped a picture. And my gut looked like Mount Everest.
What are you going to do? You going to go on a diet now? Is this a resolution?
Hey, did you lose weight there? Because Artie thought he must have lost at least 10.
I lost 14 pounds.
You did?
Did you really?
But this week, I probably put about 11 or 12 back on.
Wow.
Easy.
But
The key part about this part is they were late. So when me and Jim got to Frankfurt, Germany, we were told to go to the business lounge in Frankfurt, Germany's airport. And wait, so this is where we met Jeff Anthony, the USO guy, who's just a brilliant man and took care of us. And now it's just the three of us. He finds out they're late. So we have to make a connecting flight. Everything is based on, connecting flights.
Right.
So now he's saying to me and Jimmy, look, with the time we're losing, because you're losing time going that way, if they don't get to Frankfurt on time to catch this flight to Istanbul, they might as well maybe go back because they're going to lose so much time they might not make it because there's not a lot of flights. So he was saying to me and Jim that it might just be you two guys doing the stand-up shows and the meet and greet and everything, which meant, with the constraints on the material, which we'll talk about later.
Been a little rough.
And whatever.
Right.
But me and Jimmy, again, Jim was like, we were like manned up. We're like, we'll do whatever we got to do. But it would have been so disappointing because DePaulo and Attell are two of the greatest comedians ever. And, Gar did a great job emceeing. It was going to be hard. But tell them what happened. You got on a plane somehow. And
we all got this. So we all get to Russia in the middle of the night. I don't know, it's fucking 4 o'clock in the morning. Then we sleep. And everybody gets up at around, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, except for Artie.
Right.
So we get up, and the USO guy says, I didn't realize that a huge part of this trip is meet and greets. And every second that you're not on stage, you're either eating with the soldiers, visiting with the soldiers. It's grueling, but it's rewarding and interesting. So we're doing all the stuff. Artie's just sleeping away. We're visiting with colonels, and we're on planes, and we're having a great time. Like we went on some giant plane, and Jim and I taking pictures. We're standing on the wing, and we're having a great time. The first show is at 6 o'clock that night. I think they woke Artie up at what, about 5?
What's going on with him?
Well, I had flown so much. I get into we slept in barracks, okay?
Right.
Which were better than I thought. They're bunk beds.
Do you sleep with soldiers? Are there other soldiers
there? Were soldiers in the barracks, but not in our room. Right. So
where you took a bottom bunk, obviously.
There were 4.
You didn't take an upper bunk.
There were 4 bunk beds. One night I did when I jerked off because I didn't want to sleep on the wet spot. But
Did you jerk off in Afghanistan?
I did about 3 times.
Did you really?
Yeah, Howard, I got to tell you,
Artie jerked off.
I got to tell you something. I almost did too. We got on a plane to leave there.
That's crazy.
There was this chick, right, that worked, was in the Army, in a jumpsuit, hair pulled back.
She was on the military
totally
flight.
Hot.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
completely, like we all said, like completely underrated, like no makeup, smoking hot body, and Artie kept asking her to get a water, and every time she got a water, she had to like bend down.
Yeah, I can't. And this is on a military flight from Kyrgyzstan. No regular commercial flights.
Where do you beat off though if you're in a barracks?
Well, I was.
Oh, you have your own room.
You have your own room?
Yeah, we all had our own room.
I didn't for the first. The first 2 nights I slept with Dave Attell and Nick DiPaolo.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and
Did you beat off when you're in the room with them?
No, I would never do that. So I like it.
That's gay.
And I was sort of like I was the guy who organized it, and I was the headliner, which by the way was nerve-wracking because. Thank God Gary came because he emceed and he did a really great job of making announcements. So all we had to do when we got on stage was worry about the comedy because the other shit is hard. But when I realized that I had a headline and what I committed to, following Jimmy Florentine, DiPaolo and Attell is a fucking hard thing to do, man.
Yeah.
And not everybody knew the show. The only reason DiPaolo opens for me on the road is because I'm on your show.
Right.
In a regular situation, I'd be, before him.
So you were nervous that not everyone knew our show, and you were like, maybe I'm not good enough to be the headliner.
Well, no, look, I'm a professional comic, and I got a lot of material. I was fine.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I had the material, but... After following guys that great, it's difficult.
You want to come out and do well.
Yeah, because as the USO guy told me as the headliner, Gary will come out, do a few minutes, and then it's Jimmy does 15 to 20, Nick DiPaolo does 15 to 20, Attell does 15 to 20, then I had to do like 30 to 35 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And that's like in the it was sort of not a contract, but that's what they want you to do because they want the soldiers to have a long show. And then afterwards, Gary makes the announcement and we go do a meet and greet, which everyone at the show comes, we sign pictures. And
soldiers seem to like the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first night, the guys were really worried about the restraints and everything. Go out there. There's like 400 guys. It's in this place called Pete's Tavern. It's named after a guy who died in 9/11. You look out there. There's 400 guys. You look at these guys with M16s, and the comedians just look out and they go, we're not fucking these guys are killing people. We have to tell clean jokes. So they didn't get filthy the first night, but they were like,
no, we got filthy.
They did their show.
We got. Listen, what happened was,
I want to hear Gary doing stand-up. Let's see, Gary, page 1.
They have some of Gary.
Here's Gary.
The MC.
I'm telling you, he did well.
Good. I'm happy for him. Let's see, Gary and Artie overseas. Okay, I don't know which one is which, but let me see. Maybe this is it. This is Gary on stage.
No, that's Artie shooting the gun.
Oh, my goodness.
I went nuts.
By the way, Artie went to shoot the gun, Howard, and he wouldn't let go of it.
I turned into Rambo, man.
Gary, page 1, in gray.
It's an orange, Howard.
Gray
why
and
would you
orange
write
is
gray?
Really
So
far
No, it was
apart.
originally gray, but there's 4 clips, so I highlighted that one in orange for you.
Yeah, if there's 4 clips in gray and you tell me it's in gray, how would I know which one of the 4 it would be? What thought
I
process?
highlighted the one in orange.
Yeah, but you highlighted it in orange and said it was in gray. So why would...
Go back to your office, moron.
The Sal system.
Yeah. All right, let me just listen because it's getting late. I want to move this
All right,
story
so
ahead.
I'll just say that we were worried about the material, but the first night was the safest show we did because it was on a military base that wasn't in danger.
Right.
These are all guys on their way to danger, so
Right.
they're waiting. And there's about, like Gary said, 400 to 500 guys in this place, which only held about 300. So it's standing room only, and not every tour gets that kind of a turnout. So the USO was really happy.
Right.
But all the chicks were really cool. Everybody was really cool and young. And our guy unofficially, the USO guy unofficially said, look, just stay away from politics,
Right.
Anything else, test the waters and see what happens.
Right.
So Gary goes up and he does his thing. And the great thing, Howard, is too, and I left you this on the message, it's not people that are from some of the cities you might be more well known in. It's a lot of Southerners and
Right,
stuff.
right.
But man, when me and Gary walked in, they know your show. They love it. It was so great. All the soldiers went, and it was kind of touching. Like they saw Gary, they went Baba Booey. They were yelling out. Guys they knew references. Like they said, Artie, you slept on the show, so you better be good for today.
How do they know that?
Well, I guess they know. They
must get tapes or something.
So and
Big news over there when Artie falls asleep on the show.
So they all said,
that's great.
They said stuff like, Howard rules, we love Howard, thanks for, it really,
That's great.
That was touching.
You guys did a really great thing.
That
really.
was touching, man.
Yeah.
They love the show, and they know that you're for them, and they dig
Right.
that so much, and they appreciate it. So we go backstage. Gary goes out and does his thing. Now, Jimmy, he's the guy who's got to test the waters. That's the problem. With
He
being
goes
the
out first,
guy.
yeah.
And, he does a couple of, things like, all right, but he's killing. He's doing really good. And then he starts hitting them with a couple of real dirty jokes, and those are getting guffaws.
Right.
So Jim has a great set. Now, Nick hears that, and of course, Nick's like, fuck this. I'm fucking just breaking every fucking... I don't give a fuck. These are soldiers. Fuck them all. Because we're like, we want to make the guys laugh. And
Right.
the USO guy says, look, as long as they laugh, no one's yelling at you.
Right, right.
Nick goes out. He's even crazier. And he destroys... now I'm getting nervous because, oh my God, everyone's destroying.
Right.
So Attell goes out, and they told us, this is an example of how we were getting around it, but being dirty. This is such a great Dave Attell joke. They said we couldn't do any jokes about masturbating, okay,
Right,
which is
right.
retarded. Everyone does it over there, obviously.
Right.
So Attell goes up and says, hey, listen, they told us we couldn't do any jokes about masturbating. So let me tell you a story about the time I was fucking a sock with shampoo in it. And another thing Dave said that was great, he goes, Afghanistan, where no one's allowed to have sex, but everybody smells like they just did.
That's a good one.
So I go up now, and thank God a lot of them knew me, but a lot of them didn't. And Howard, man, everything was just hitting. We were killing. And I saw I was allowed to do stuff. I did a full, what did I do, about 30 minutes that first day?
30, 35, yeah.
Right, okay. So I did my obligation, but by the end, I was doing shit like I don't know if I do in Brooklyn at midnight. It was all killing, and I said, look, I didn't bring any comic who's political, and none of us are like liberals, or no one give a fuck about that. And at the end, I was doing the one people that did take a hit was if there were any gay soldiers, because we all did gay stuff.
Really, really heavy gay stuff. It was so funny.
Listen, all the American soldiers.
Did you guys see 60 Minutes last night about the gay soldiers?
Yeah, that's a repeat. Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was really good. I feel bad for gay soldiers. Like, these guys are, unbelievable, risking their lives, and they still can't.
And they want to be soldiers.
That guy's the greatest medic in the world. They kicked him out.
Yeah, they kicked him out for being gay. Yeah, for being gay. It was just really, it's fucked up, man.
That is, I thought
if you're gay, if you're gay, they throw you out of the army.
I thought they were allowed to be in the military.
No, don't ask, don't tell. But this guy told.
Oh, you have to stay in the closet.
But lately, they're realizing there's so many good gay dudes in the army. They don't want to kick them out, So they're kind of they try to convince everyone that they're not gay.
Isn't that unbelievable? Even nowadays, marriage, like gay guys want to fight and help the country. Why would you not let them? But anyway,
well, you see, because some of these old generals are like, that's going to destroy morale because
right.
But they're already there.
They're there, and no morale is being destroyed.
Well,
stop being stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
But what they love, what the American soldiers love doing is making fun of the French soldiers, because the French soldiers, What's
going on?
What's that noise?
I left the thing open in my office.
Oh.
Sal.
Oh, Sal.
Sal. Sal went into Gary's.
Like, you can hear me right now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The Sal system. So
Sal leaves the button down in Gary's office. Sal's already fucking up.
But the big thing, all the American soldiers love making fun of the French soldiers, because the French soldiers wear, because it's hot, these short shorts that are rolled up, like hyped up, and they really look, fruity. So while I was doing a show, one of them walked by where some of the guys could see it. So I said, when the guy left, I said, I guess they do let gay guys in the army. And the place went crazy. And I said, why aren't we fighting the French? We'd be done in a week. I said, what do those guys do? Do they
I was just handed a note. That the guys wanted to play cards at your house, but you didn't have any cards.
I didn't have a deck of cards, yeah. I thought I did. I thought
You got the room and you don't have the cards?
I thought the man cave people left cards.
They had chips and everything else, and they didn't leave cards?
Who's writing these notes? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to use them for crab bait. So
get back to
at
this.
the end, just to prove how by the end of the first show we were so off the fucking material thing. At the end, I said, I was doing what do the French guys do to help you? Do they distract the Taliban by letting them fuck them in the ass? And you guys go. So I was bent over as a French guy going, okay, he's fucking me. Go, get the drop a bomb. And while I'm over there, they're guffawing.
So the French guys don't get to come to the USO show.
They don't speak any English.
Right.
And, so by the end of it, we were comfortable. And at the end of the show, the USO guy said, that was amazing. They loved it. Gary did a great job. Everybody did a great job.
How long were you in Afghanistan?
This was Kyrgyzstan.
Okay. How many days were you in Afghanistan? Whatever.
Okay, so
entertaining. 3 days?
I'll tell you. That was the end of that show. All right. So then we do a meet and greet. The next day, we have to get up and take a military flight. Now we're going to Afghanistan. The first show was sort of the safer show.
Right.
And our USO guy says, as the next couple, the next one's going to be a little more dangerous. It's in Kandahar. It's an outdoor show. And then we're getting on the Black Hawk, so you're going to a real dangerous place. So the next morning, we wake up in Kyrgyzstan, get on this military flight with that the hot chick was on, and we fly to Afghanistan. So, Gary,
when you talk about the travel was grueling, we were supposed to leave in the morning. They tell us at 10 o'clock at night. We were just getting ready to have a beer, and they go, listen, plans have changed. Plans change every minute. We're now leaving at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to Kandahar. So we just stayed up on it. Jim and Florentine and I fell asleep on chairs, and we flew at 2 in the morning, got to Kandahar at 5 in the morning, and that's fucking hot. That was 125.
Wow.
And it's sooty. It's almost like they took rocks and pulverized them, so it's just that dust is in the air. We go, again, we go to sleep. We get up at around, I don't know, about noon. Artie continues to sleep. We met the colonel.
He's the headliner.
You know what the drones are, Howard? The Predator. It's a
plane.
Yeah.
plane.
Thing, yeah.
The colonel who's in charge of that, enormous fan of the show.
He really was.
We sit down. The first question he asks, he goes, "Okay, what's going on with the merger?" And Jim, when I last left, you were dating Robin. Are you guys more serious now? Like a really big.
So
fan.
I said to Gary, I said, if he's that big of a fan, he knows I'm sleeping. What does he give a shit? But the thing was about what Gary said about our flight. They said, look, it's a military flight, so you're supposed to leave at 10. We didn't leave till 4 a.m. because it's so, like in show business in America, everybody gets their ass kissed. Over there, in times of war, we're so low on the totem pole.
Right.
When a plane comes, if we don't fit, we don't go. We wait. And literally, it's not just soldiers. Like, if there's only enough room for 2 boxes of toilet paper or us, the toilet paper's going.
Yeah. Right.
And so we missed like 5
war.
flights to Kandahar. Right.
Right.
And so we kept waiting and waiting, and finally they had room for us, and they had just enough seats in the front of this like in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the back of that ship comes down like a big ramp.
Yeah.
That's what this military flight looked like. That's how you load in and out, and they put a ladder on the side. This thing was as big as like the George Washington Bridge, and they had 6 seats for us right in the front, and Garrett took a great shot of this. He had it on me, and then he panned up, and behind us 4, scared-looking comics in the front were about 500 Marines, all baby-faced, ready to go. They got 6, and the women, too, they carry 60 pounds
So what is
of
this
gear.
I heard? You had a mortar attack, and you guys had to be...
So I get to
Yeah, we
get to Kandahar. We do the show.
Right.
6 o'clock that night. Show goes great, except there's a. I won't get into it. We do the show. We finish the show. We're going to get in a car, go to the meet and greet. We get in the car. We drive, 200 yards, and the sirens go
No,
off.
wait, you forget, again, here's the thing. In Kandahar, before we left Kyrgyzstan, they said, listen, you're going to Kandahar. And we said, yeah. And all these Southern soldiers said, listen, man, this place is paradise. He goes, Kandahar tastes like shit. I said, what do you mean? He goes, when you breathe shit. There's a shit pond. No kidding. A shit pond that is basically open sewage in the middle of, right off the base.
Oh, my God.
And at about 6 o'clock at night, right when our show was starting, when the wind kicks up, Howard, a wind hits you that is like, you feel like every time you bite, you're biting into shit. And it's so grotesque. If you're not used to it, it really hits you bad. And our show was outside. So again, all these guys, some of these guys had come from just doing hand-to-hand combat with the Taliban.
Wow.
And they fucking came and sat and were just, with a cigarette and just wanting to laugh. And
Oh, my God.
And in the middle of this, in the middle of our show, the shit wind comes.
Oh.
Okay? So I'm backstage. Nick was on stage when it happened, and I'm ready to throw up. The Marines are laughing at me like, tastes good, don't it, Art? I'm like, and because they're used to it. Nick
A horrible country.
Nick is on stage.
No, this is the shit pond is our fault. That's what the military built. It's a sewage treatment plant, but they built it too close to where everybody is.
Right, and the Romanian soldiers, they make fun of them because they do the craziest stuff, and this is a true story. 2 Romanian soldiers, one of them bet the other that he couldn't swim through the shit pond.
Oh.
Okay, like $100, and the Americans love telling the story. Go, yeah, those Romanian fuckers. The guy fucking stopped in the middle and was almost drowned, and the other guy had to get him. And I asked, is that true? They said, yeah, definitely. So the shit is the one good thing about it is it gave us endless material. Like you could look at the lights. And in the lights at night, you could see, you see particles. You realize all those particles are shit that you're breathing in. Ugh. And, it gave us jokes like I said, it feels like we're in heaven's toilet. Could someone tell God to light a match after he shits? And
so what? Wait. Let me get you on track.
So now I'm on track. I'm telling you.
Right.
We do the show there, okay?
Yeah.
And we get done with that show in shit stench.
Right.
Now we have to go to a meet and greet, all right?
Yeah.
To go to the meet and greet, it's about not even a half mile away. We all get in these SUVs and these Hummers, okay? And about 20 yards into it, and the article in Russian Malloy was accurate here, a siren goes off. And you hear, we're under attack, immediately take cover. Now, the drivers of our cars swarm in, to this dirt and screech to a halt. Swerve into this like area.
Yes.
That's where all these concrete bunkers are that they showed us before. They're not below ground. They're above ground. They look like huge concrete tunnels that are open on each side. There's a picture of it. The fans but anyway, they're open on each side, and it's very claustrophobic. It's like a gigantic concrete coffin.
Right.
But before we got, this is where these kids are such fucking heroes. Before we get out of the car, they say, stay here. And there was this one, about 5 Marines come around us, and another coming back of us, and they form sort of a circle around us with guns out, sirens blasting, and supposedly mortars dropping all over the place. And they walk us to protect us to the fucking thing, like they were our shields,
human shields.
Yeah. So this kid, Chris Brown was his name, all right? And he was like a half Hispanic, half black kid, great kid. And I said, how scared should we be right now? And this is what he said to me. He goes, Artie, the way I figure it, don't stress about it, man, because if one of these fucking things hits you, you're just going to vaporize. You won't even feel a fucking thing, man. You're going to be dust. And they all did these subtle fat jokes with me that are funny. He goes, you're going to be a lot of dust, but you'll be dust. And he goes, and if it doesn't, and so why worry about it? Best way to die, no pain. He goes, but if it don't hit you, everything's cool, you know. You're
back.
Right, so why stress about it? And then I said, what if one hits...
Yeah, why stress out, man?
What if one hits close and there's like shrapnel? And without even an ounce of joking in his voice, this kid says to me, he goes, then I'll make sure that hits me and my partner. It ain't going to touch you ever.
Wow.
That's what the kid... I mean,
oh, my God.
And these are guys, 5 guys were assigned to us the whole time.
Wow.
And 2 women who were amazing soldiers, too. And their detail, the 5 days they were there, was to protect us. And that's what that fucking kid said to me, man. Like, I got all their numbers. I gave them my phone number, and they're coming to New York in 2 weeks, so maybe...
They're going to hang out at your house? You can have wine?
If you have a party,
I said,
will you have something for them?
These soldiers don't drink wine, and they love meat. You tell a fucking soldier who's just been out 18 hours fighting the Taliban he can't have meat. So these are men we're talking about, people. These are men. So
all right, Artie will have pizza for you.
We'll have a deck of cards for them.
Well, and I said I'll take you all to the Yankee game, and 1 or 2 of them have amazing stories. I said if there's time, maybe you could come up. We'll give you a tour. Maybe Howard will talk
now,
to you.
Do you hear the noise of the mortar attack?
You
when
hear
you're
the
down
siren,
there?
right?
The sirens, right? I didn't hear.
And how long does it last?
You didn't hear any shelling.
They told us to be in there for about 20, 25 minutes till we were just standing in there.
Things cleared out.
Yeah, but again, Artie's saying like I was brave. I never felt too afraid because they didn't seem too afraid.
Did you hear gunfire?
No, this is the same base that Toby Keith got bombed at. Remember
that's right.
You were teasing us about going. This was the same place.
Robin, you did that story about Toby Keith.
Yeah.
It was the same exact stage. And after our show, another country band was going on. And some of the black kids were saying, I think the Taliban hates country bands. He goes, keep those motherfuckers out of here. So we all get in this thing now. It was about 30 to 40 minutes. Sirens going off.
So did you get to see any dead bodies or anything?
No.
You didn't
Nobody
get to
got
see
hurt?
anybody. You didn't get to see any combat, huh?
No.
We heard combat. That was enough.
But we did hear.
They killed some sand.
And like, did any kids come back and go, yeah, I just killed some Taliban?
Yeah. One guy, as a matter of fact.
Is he like, wow, I just fucking killed a bunch of these Taliban?
The colonel, who was a huge fan, while I was sleeping, Gary and these guys signed a bomb that the drone drops.
Wow.
Okay, and when the colonel came back to our barracks and met me 2 days later, he said, he goes, just today, that bomb that all you guys signed, we had intelligence that there were 8 Taliban in this little hut, and we dropped that bomb on them. That bomb you signed just killed 8 Taliban.
Nice.
That's what the guy said.
You guys are a lucky charm.
It's funny.
That's so cool.
In Vietnam, remember they used to call the enemy Charlie?
Right. Yeah.
You know what the enemy's called over there?
No.
They're Hajis. I just killed 3 Hajis. That's what they always talk about. They talk
these
about
fucking Taliban.
Hajis out there. I killed a couple of Hajis.
These Taliban are such scumbags.
Oh, forget.
I mean, the fact they must have so much joy when they kill these fucks. I mean, I can't imagine how pleased I'd be with myself if I could kill some fucker who's like imprisoning the women, imprisoning the people. I mean, it must be wonderful to just kill. And
yeah, but it's getting more and more
guilt.
Dangerous in Afghanistan every day.
Yeah, and it's gonna. We heard.
But it must be just a wonderful feeling to be a United States soldier.
I got to tell you,
kill these motherfuckers.
Yeah, but we need more soldiers there because there are more and more Taliban. They're making money hand over fist in in drugs, and they're now buying better munitions. They got those surface-to-air missiles. They can shoot down planes. They'll soon have an air force.
Well, that's what they said
Well,
to us.
I don't know. The way Baba Booey and Artie were shooting those machine guns. Those guys just stayed
when
there.
we were in the helicopter, we said...
What's it like to shoot a machine gun? Isn't it great?
Okay, this was so amazing.
They're not machine guns. What are they?
They're like these big, like AK-47s. I might have that wrong.
They're not AKs. They're
No.
M somethings.
They're M
M50s.
whatevers,
I think they're
and-
M50s.
They're outside. Like, we're in a Black Hawk helicopter. There's 2 pilots.
It must have felt very manly.
We're in the back. There's like 4 of us in the back. And besides the 2 pilots, right behind them are 2 what they call gunners.
Right.
They both have huge rifles that are shooting out the side of the helicopter. And the 2 kids that were doing it, I'm telling you, they looked like they were 10. They were 19-year-old, good old boys from the South. Nicest, bravest, strongest kids you could imagine. And they're just looking around. And I said, what are you looking for? They go, well, look, you look down all throughout the desert. There's about a 45-minute trip from Kandahar to the base, all over desert. He goes, look down, there's all these holes. He goes, the Taliban and these other people are masters of irrigation. That's why they can grow stuff in the desert. And they dig these holes to help with the irrigation, but they also hide in there.
Right.
So they can come out of nowhere. And what Robin is saying is true. Some of them have
They're like rabbits.
Some of them have shoulder missiles,
Right.
and they'll shoot at the helicopter. And then there's other things that they have to shoot that could be fuel or something they're using to take out. So these guys are constantly on the look for anything happening, and they shoot if something happens. So the way there, we again, the history, a guy points to like an old relic of a mountain, and he goes, that was Alexander the Great's castle. And so you realize where you are. You're in the middle of this. On the way back, there's all mountains, and you don't see any people. There's a couple of tents with 2 people living. He goes, those aren't Taliban. And America, you know, we're such nice, compassionate people. Like, we don't, you know, even if we think they're Taliban, if we don't know for sure, they don't kill anybody. When we were just between mountains and nothing was there, this good old boy kid turns back to me and he goes, verbatim, he goes, hey, Artie, you want to shoot this fucker? and I go, yeah,
sure.
that sounds like fun.
You don't want to be a pussy and go, no.
Right, he goes, that sounds like fun. So, again, the subtle fat jokes were hilarious. He goes, all right, man, I got to climb over you. The war might be over by the time I do it, but I got to climb over you.
They're all funny.
Well, yeah, you know what it is? Like, they don't have any fat guys in the Army, and they know I'm a comedian. I was just laughing at everything.
Yeah.
He climbs over me, and then he says, hook this onto you. He hooks a string to me and a string to him. And I said, what's this for? He goes, if you fall out of the helicopter, I'll fall out with you, and I'm connected to this so you won't hit the ground.
Oh.
So I go, where?
There's no windows, Howard.
I go, where should I aim? And he goes, just hit that mountain over there.
Yeah.
So I start to press down these buttons that shoots it. I came nowhere near the mountain. You know,
Right.
You have to be strong to hold it, to aim. And I'll tell you what, Howard, I've never really shot a gun in my life, and I'm not a killer or whatever, but I lost it. I was having so much fun. I was like Rambo, like, ah!
Did it have a lot of kick to it?
Yeah, it had. Well, it's connected to something, but it moves around so much. So you have, if you want to hit something specifically, you really got to be strong. And these young kids are strong, you know. And I couldn't really hold it that well, but I was shooting it like crazy. And the cool thing is, you see the bullets hit the ground like nuts. And
imagine the thrill of actually putting some bullets into targets.
Well, this is what happened.
Yeah.
I said to the
should have knocked out some Taliban.
I would if I saw somebody.
Yeah.
So
and he would have been there. You could have killed him.
The guy had to stop me. The kid had to say, "Artie, man, all right, that's enough."
Yeah,
like,
the Army needs bullets.
Yeah, easy, cowboy.
And then he said, and then I said to him, I said, because he told me they come out of nowhere.
Right.
I said, what would have happened if I killed the Taliban guy? This kid
Get a
goes,
medal.
This kid goes, that's one less motherfucker I gotta kill. I mean, like what Robin said.
How about that bomb Gary signed, though? Imagine, here's an idea for a movie. So Gary signs a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
They go over, they take out a village. But some kid survives, and the little piece of shrapnel says, Gary Dell'Abate.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey. And the guy, for the rest of his life,
That's Baba Booey.
Hunts down Baba Booey. he wiped out his family.
He's got a gimpy leg because of that Baba Booey shrapnel.
That motherfucker Baba Booey.
Let me tell you something about that bomb, Howard. So these drones, they go up 25,000 feet in the air, and they can see, they can live video of what's going on the ground. But of course, people on the ground can't see it or hear it because it's so far up. They showed us a video. It's the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Video of Gary signing his bomb.
Here's my bomb.
Here's my bomb, Wolf. I'm signing.
Look
Greatest
at that
movie
thing, man. Holy shit.
Baba Booey.
Afghan Booey.
This is the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Gary, you didn't lose any weight in Afghanistan, did you?
I did. Well, actually, I gained 2 pounds and I lost 6 when I got back.
Yeah, you look extra beefy.
Yeah, Artie and I had that conversation. Anyway, that's a whole different discussion. So listen, they show us this movie of what the drones can do. Taliban's on the side of a road. They're in SUVs and they're planting bombs. They can see all this from the drone.
Right.
They watch them plant the bombs. They don't do anything. The guys get in their SUV. They follow them back. They go to this house. Now this house, there's like 20 SUVs. Fucking boom. They just blow the house right up.
Wow.
They go, now we know that's where everything's coming from.
Right,
They're sending 20 of these guys out. Now we've got, we could have killed them on
They watch the guys plant the bombs, and then when they go back to their house,
could have killed them on the side of the road, but we'll get more. But they go, okay, at this point we've ascertained, you can hear the video, you can hear the audio, like, okay, get it, get it at target. And it just blows up the whole fucking house. Yeah. I mean, it's like applause from everybody.
All they need is intelligence that there's probable cause that it's a Taliban that could be aggressive, and they can blow the fucking shit out of it and just kill who's ever in there because they assume it's Taliban.
But those Taliban love it because they keep fighting. They're not giving up.
Well,
but they never see
that's a propaganda film for them.
Yeah.
They never see it come. They don't know. They don't hear a plane. They don't hear anything. Just all of a sudden they're there. And it's funny because you could see.
You think that would scare the shit out of them? They'd
you
stop.
can't scare them.
Well, here it is.
They love to die. They're going to heaven.
They're like roaches.
That's what we. Well, you know what? That's exactly what they said to us, Howard. The soldiers said it's like fighting roaches or ants. You kill 8 of them, 1 million come out of the, and you don't know what to do. But like that helicopter ride and everything else was just such an experience that you become a changed person, and you see these young kids fighting. And I said, what's something you want me to like say on the air? And they said, first of all, a lot of the soldiers, you could tell, probably agree we shouldn't have went to Iraq. But now that we're there, we can't leave. We tried to leave, and the Baghdad police department was so corrupt that it started falling apart again. So we had to go back. Iraq gets all the press, so they get all the equipment and all the men. And they said, look, in Afghanistan, we're undermanned. We need way more men and way more equipment in Afghanistan. But, they call them our brothers.
The bitch of it is if we hadn't got into Iraq, we'd have all the manpower.
They didn't come right out and say that, but that was implied. And they said, look, our brothers fighting in Iraq, they're doing an important thing over there because they got to keep order. And you see, we don't understand. Like, everything's about religion and these codes. And Robin's right. Afghanistan, and obviously you could tell the jokes I made about this, but Afghanistan's called the beginning of the heroin trail.
Right.
The Taliban goes to these farmers and they say, look, you can make $15 a month growing pomegranates, or we'll give you like $200 or $500 a month to grow heroin. Right. So it's all about money.
Right.
Now, the Taliban makes money by dealing heroin. And I said, what percentage? And there's one real smart soldier he looks like the kind of kid, he's 23, he'll probably going to be a politician one day. At 23, he's a commander of like 80 guys. And he's a fan of the show. And he's saying, he goes, they make a lot of money on drugs, but also the heads of these huge oil companies in Saudi Arabia, they give them money. They donate to the Taliban. And in America, we need like a viable reason. Like, why? Is it money? What do they get out of it? And this kid claims that the only reason the heads of these oil companies who are so rich with money to burn give the Taliban money is because they are the same religion as they are. It's like, there's Shiites and there's Sunnis. There's the Taliban is a certain evil sect of the Sunnis, and if they're the same religion as the head of a Saudi Arabia oil company,
they'll give them money.
They will give you money. It's as if like me. The kid said to me, "What religion you are?" I said Roman Catholic. It would be like if you were so into your religion, even though you knew Roman Catholic people were murdering and killing and terrorizing people, you would send them money to support them just because you're Roman Catholic.
It's your team.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, look, I'm running out of time. I want to congratulate the boys.
You know what?
It's enough war stories.
When you come back, there's one more important
note. That's it. Cutting it off.
Save it
Ralph
for later.
said to me, "Oh my God, is it going to be 10 hours of war stories?"
There's one more.
But Howard, I mean, listen. listen, I think it's
Ralph
interesting.
heard them over the weekend. He doesn't want to hear
He
them
doesn't wanna-
today.
There's one more important story to tell, and you can tell it
Gary,
later.
I want to say something. I'm proud of you guys and what you did. I thought it was fantastic. I really do, and I'm being very
It's
sincere right
amazing,
now.
yeah.
I like that you guys went over and entertained the troops. It's very brave of you. And you know what? It really is true, as Artie has pointed out, that these kids over there fighting are such heroes and so brave.
And they really are kids.
They really are kids. They're 19, 20-year-old kids. And, to go over and entertain them the way you guys did is a wonderful thing. I'm very, very pleased to know that you did that, and I applaud you for that.
Well, thanks. I mean, one of them told me outright, look, if shrapnel comes, I'm going to jump in front of it for you. And all I am is I ain't the president. I'm a comedian. I'm an American
You're
citizen.
more important
so
than the president.
Well, I'm an American.
He's never made anybody laugh.
I'm
That's
an
right.
American citizen, and it's his job to protect me. And I'm there doing, and they're so appreciative when you go there, man. They're like, really. And he goes, I'll get in front of shrapnel for you, and that is like it makes you
It's
want to
amazing.
cry.
And
you
I
know?
also want to say I'm especially grateful to this woman, Jessica, as Artie points out, who came.
She
Gave our
really
hero-
thanked Artie the right way.
Really,
christened
all girls should do that for Artie when they see it.
And if I could just want one thing too, because he took a lot of ball breaking. Gary really did do a great job. If you talk to DePaulo, Attell, and Jim, they'll all tell you the same thing, man. Gary.
How did Gary have jokes? I mean, how did that?
Well,
work?
I guess Gary.
I had a guy write me some jokes. In
Right.
fact, I'll give him credit. Mike Morris, who's done some of our roasts.
He
and
wrote
stuff.
some jokes.
He wrote some jokes. Then a listener sent me a couple of jokes.
and you memorized your jokes? Or you-
That I have difficulty with that. I have
I do
fucking
too.
notes
Did
on
you
my
have
hand.
cards?
I had notes on my hand. At one point, I wrote a note and like stuck it to the speaker. I did the old trick where you put out a stool and you put a drink on it with your notes on it. But
By the end of the tour, did you have your act memorized?
yeah,
so to
pretty
speak?
much.
Yeah.
By the end of the tour, we did 3 shows.
You see, but we were trying to like give Gary like 101 comedy. He had about 5 jokes and he did well, but when you look at them, like unless the joke is killing and it's a big time laugh, you don't have a lot of time to look.
Right.
So that gets awkward, And then the thing is, look, if a joke don't work once and twice, cut
it
it.
out.
So that's what we were telling him to do. And by the end, he was a lot better. The jokes worked.
What
but
was your big joke, Gary? What was the one that killed?
The joke that killed every time was, I'm a little suspicious looking on the trip over here. They frisked me. I don't want to say they. God, I can't remember the exact word. They frisked me. I said I had more fingers in me than Paris Hilton on prom night.
Yeah.
They love that one.
They like Paris Hilton jokes. And again, you see what he did. He nailed them every time on stage, but like that with a joke. If you stumble once, that's
That
it.
kills it.
Even
Yeah.
if it's the best joke in the world, the timing's all off. But Gary never did that. But the most important thing that he did was, because me and Attell especially, we're not good at this. He made announcements like if they were sitting far away and they couldn't hear, Gary would tell them what to do. He was actually an excellent host.
Yes.
And he let us just go up there and be funny. And
Look at this.
when I said
The star is born.
when I said goodbye, I just had to say goodbye, and I handed it to Gary, and he made all those announcements where the meet and greet was. So one more comic would have been too much, and Gary did a great job. I love that he came.
Congratulations to you guys. And
Great time. Great experience.
Great experience. You're back alive and
Standing
well,
ovation.
and standing ovation for you all.
Can I just
really.
plant this little seed in your head? Later on,
Yes.
you have to ask Artie about our 2-day. It took us 2 days to get home. We stayed an extra day because we couldn't get home.
Right.
And Artie had.
I did. I had a meltdown.
Artie
in
had
the
a meltdown
airport.
that was like, I thought Artie was going to be arrested.
I would have been arrested in Kyrgyzstan. Let me just say,
You were
because-
upset probably because it was vacation and
Yes.
you couldn't get home to your
Well,
vacation.
on the again, I said, look, it's military, and if we don't make it, I get it. But we were told that we'd be home by 4:00 on the 4th of July, so that was going to be my first day in my brand new house. So my mom said, being the Gindaloon that she is, said, listen, on the 4th of July, I'm inviting everybody over. I'm making a really big dinner when you get home. We'd love to see you, and we'll break some bread and, the religious thing and have a great day. So when we missed this last flight, I knew for a fact that wasn't going to happen, and it just hit me at once, and I lost it at 3 a.m.
What's it like when Artie loses it? Like, what happens? Is
Well,
there
you saw it.
is there subutext?
No, here's
and-
what happened.
Teddy, you saw it with Teddy.
Artie, I'll
What
give
did he do?
this to you really quick. Artie at this point says, fuck the USO. I'm getting out of here on my own. So Artie hears there's a flight to London. He hears it's $900. I'm going. He goes to buy the ticket. The $900 ticket is now $5,000. But Artie doesn't give a shit.
Right.
I got to get out of fucking Russia. That's what he's thinking.
Right.
hands him his platinum American Express card, which gets denied because it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I was trying to spend $5,000 at Russia at 3 in the morning. Hands him another credit card, gets denied. And when the second card gets denied, he realizes he's not getting on the plane. He takes his bag and he hurls it down the hall. He's kicking his luggage.
It's like the Hulk.
He was really, listen, we were all pretty pissed off.
Right.
Gary kept his cool. I mean, Gary's got kids and he kept his cool.
Why is your card getting rejected?
Well, because Gary said, listen, I spend like whatever the fuck, $200,000 a year on my goddamn Amex card. I pay a fee, blah blah blah, and it's a platinum card that I admit I originally got to try to pick up waitresses, and look, but now I really use it. And
you were overdrawn?
No, not overdrawn. I've never, Howard. My credit rating is perfect. I've never missed a payment.
So why can't you buy a plane
Gary
ticket?
said makes sense. They thought it was stolen. They saw that it's in Kyrgyzstan,
right?
And
Do you believe Artie's in Kyrgyzstan?
Right, and they're trying to.
Oh, I see.
Why would Artie spend $5,000 in Russia at 3 in the morning? Like I think you need to get like a prior. Plus, I don't even know that the technology there. I swear to God, Howard, I don't even know that the phone ever went through. You know what I mean?
I said to these guys, I said, listen, I'm not trying to be obnoxious. If I made $40,000 a year, I'd be doing this. I said to all the guys, I said, listen, the USO, I don't know, like we start. Me and Nick DiPaolo had all these like paranoid theories, like they really hate us. They're trying to get us killed over here. We got to get out of here. We have been flying 18 hours, so. We can't get on the flight, and we find out we have to stay another night in the base in Istanbul or Kyrgyzstan. So I said, I got on the horn to my guy at Continental, and he said, there's a flight leaving in 45 minutes to London. And in London, I know some people, and I was going to just stay in London and take Virgin upper class home. I didn't give a fuck. So I said, I got my credit card. My guy said, it's $900 a piece. I'll put everyone on this card, and we'll just all go. You pay me back whenever. So everybody agrees we'll do that.
Right.
I go, I put it down. This Asian woman who can't speak any English, I tell her what she says, tell her what it is, and she's on the phone for like a couple minutes. She comes back and she goes, I'm going to write down how much the tickets are. So she writes down $5,063, okay? Now I'm thinking that's for all six, because it's 6 people, 9, 10 apiece. So I said, yeah, put the 5,000 on this. She goes, well, how many people? I said 6. She goes, well, that'll be $34,000. I was like, wait, it's 5,000. So, they strong arm me. They see how desperate we are.
Right.
And they try to just shake you down. And of course, now
God.
DiPaolo's yelling out every hateful thing. And I agree with Nick. Nick is 100% right. So, Howard, I went over the deep end to the point where I needed a shrink. So I said, listen, this is a platinum card. I got something like a $300,000 limit. I said, put the $30,000 on this. I was going to spend $34,000. And I said, we'll all just go together. Everyone was nice enough to say, Art, don't do that. You're retarded. You're out of control. You're red with anger. Stop. So everyone agreed to stay there. And I said, I don't want to go alone because I got to. So I said to Florentine, I said, Jim, listen, I'll put 10 G's on this. You give me back whatever the fuck you can. I don't want a dime from you. Just keep me company on a plane or something. And Jimmy really, he's a nice guy. He says, I can't let you do that, Art. So then finally I go, fuck it. I'm getting out of here.
Right.
So that's when I put it down. I say I was going to spend $5,000 anyway. Here it is. 20 minutes the plane's flying. I still got to go out of the airport to get a visa.
Did you get on it?
Back. No, because of what Gary just said. They reject the American Express card. They reject the Visa card. Now I think there's like a conspiracy against me.
I would have killed someone.
And then I can't get on the plane, okay? Wow. After 18 hours of flying, and now because I can't get on the plane, I'm missing the 4th of July dinner that I was looking forward to. I find out we have to go back to Kyrgyzstan, Russia, to sleep another night and shit in the latrine in bunk beds that are filthy and get all that. That's what I find out after I had home and London were in my sight. So Gary,
USO couldn't get you out of there.
Well, that's what David Tilcom said. He goes, look, if we were Robin Williams, they'd have a jet here. He goes, but look, we're not. We're comedians in our 40s.
David Tellers and Robin Williams.
Together aren't Robin
None of us are.
None of you all together. You're not Robin Williams.
All together, you don't add up to Robin.
I got news. So Gary, who has children, he called his house, and Lucas was upset he wasn't coming. I felt so bad for Gary, but he was keeping his cool. Matter of fact, he came over, and Gary's
happy to be out of the house.
Well, no, but Gary knows how to talk to me. He came over and he said, Art, he calmed me down. He said, don't get arrested,
Remember when I said to you in Vegas, we need to talk? Now we have a lot of time to talk.
Howard, this was like hold on. This was like old Russia.
Keep you company, Artie. I'm bored.
Hold on, Howard. This was like old Russia. Guys with the big hats, Russians.
Right.
And Artie was like really in danger.
What did you say to Artie to calm him down?
I just said, Artie, This isn't worth it. You'll be arrested. He goes, I don't give a fuck. I'd rather spend the night in jail than at that fucking barracks.
I wanted to die.
You realize if Gary goes home, Mary has him cleaning the dishes, bathing the boys. You know,
Howard,
this was
my kids bathe themselves. For
this was a
Christ's sake.
vacation. His kids are 20 years old now, and he bathes them.
Well, Gary was so good and calm that he calmed me down. But now, and I'm on the wagon. Okay,
What is that all about?
I went to the doctor, and he said, "Listen,
you're on the wagon."
He wasn't drinking at the party.
About the thyroid and everything.
Right.
He said, "Listen, you're not fatal. Obviously, you have to lose 100 pounds." He goes, "But do me a favor." He goes, "Because on the road, I've been drinking a lot of whiskey and straight. I no Jack and water anymore. On the road, I've been drinking whiskey and straight and a lot of it.
What happened to Jack and water?
Smoke. I said, fuck the water."
Water is fucking you up.
It's slowing you down.
I really, it's not getting me. I'm so fat now. If I have a bowl of pasta, I'll never get drunk. Like that's my. So the liver gets hit. So he said, "Listen, everything's right, but do me a favor." And this is right before the trip. He goes, "Try to go on the wagon, no drink, no alcohol, nothing for 3 months, maybe 6 months." So I said, "All right, there's no booze in Afghanistan, so this is a good way to start." He said, "But I know it's a long plane ride." He said, "Don't drink any booze on a plane. If you got to take a couple of Valium or something, do that to calm yourself down, okay?" So I'm like, all right.
I love this team of doctors that works.
But he said that's better than booze at this point.
Right.
And just take one Valium so it'll calm you down. So now after I throw shit around the airport, almost get arrested, Gary calms me down. Now we have to wait
and
for
no booze.
No booze at all. Now we have to wait for the military. Now, Howard, the USO guy, this guy Jeff Anthony, was trying everything he can to get us there, but nothing's working. Now we have to wait for the Army vehicle to come back to drive us to Shittown in the Bay.
I'm surprised you didn't go back on heroin.
So now we have. Well, I said to the one of my jokes was, because right over the mountain were all the poppy seeds. I said, "Guys, I'm a heroin addict." I said, "There's no booze, but there's heroin here." I said it would be great to do fresh heroin, like I get it.
You could go pick it yourself.
I said it would be great to do. I said it would be great to do a hit of heroin that wasn't up a Mexican chick's ass for 2 weeks.
Said that on stage?
Yeah, I said that on stage. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
So, so now all these guys, while they're waiting for the car for an hour, they decide, fuck it, there's a bar open. We're getting drunk at least.
Oh no.
So no one knew I was on the wagon. So Attell and Gary, Jimmy, Nick, they're all being nice. They're saying, "Oh, calm down," and they get me, like a little kid, like my chocolate shake. They get me my Jack Daniels. They get me like 4 shots. They go, "Look, we'll all do shots." So now these guys all start getting lit. And now I finally...
And you didn't do it.
And now I finally say to these guys, but you're going to love this because I'm such a fuck-up. I say to these guys, "Look, I'm on the wagon. I can't do it, man." But the guy said if I could take a couple of Valium, So with this, the Kyrgyzstan bartender over here, it was like
only Artie stops drinking when he's in Afghanistan.
Well, listen, the Kyrgyzstan chick, there was a guy at the bar, one like lonely guy at the bar, and I don't know if he worked there or not, and he could speak a little English, and he heard me say Valium. So he said, "You want pill? I have pill, And I said, all right. I said, "What do you got?" So he said, "I have Valium, but." I said, "What milligram are they?" He goes, "They're only 10." And I mean,
that's nothing to you.
I need a little more than that. So,
how strong do Valium come?
Well, first of all, I wanted to make sure it was Valium.
He needed 5,000, but his Amex wasn't working.
I wanted to make sure it was Valium, so Nick told me he takes it sometimes. Like non-drug addicts amaze me. Nick said he had the same bottle of Ambien and Valium for 2 years. Like he said, mine might be expired. That concept expired.
That me too. With
you
Ambien.
let your drugs expire.
I know, Howard. You say that all the time.
Yeah, it expires.
In 2 minutes, I need more because I'm done. So I show it to Nick, and he goes, "Yeah, that's a Valium. That's a 10 milligram." So I go back to the guy at the bar, and I go, "How much you want for a pill?" And he goes to me, "You give me $10 American, right?" So I figure I got all these plane flights ahead of me. I got to get to sleep, but I can't drink. So I buy like 20 Valium from the guy, right? So now not only did I just throw shit around the fucking airport, I am now in the middle of a drug deal in Kyrgyzstan. So I buy 20 Valium from the guy. I put it down. We go to this little bar here. These guys are drinking. They're getting more and more lit, and I'm the straight guy. So now I just say, fuck it. I got to get lit with the guys. I'm not having any fun. So I take the Valium out and I put all 20 on the table. No one could see it.
Right.
So now I say, while we're waiting for the car, it's going to take an hour. Let me take a couple.
Right.
So I take 2 Valium.
Okay.
And that's like, that puts my foot to sleep. You know, that's like hitting an elephant with a blow dart. I don't feel anything really. And the other guys are getting drunk, telling stories. I take 2 more.
Right.
Now I know my tolerance, you know.
Really?
Well, I think. So now I feel a little all right, you know. And then when you feel a little all right, you want to continue it. So you have another drink. So in another 10 minutes, I take 3 more Valium.
Right.
All right. Now I've taken 7 Valium.
7 of your 20.
70 milligrams of Valium.
That's crazy.
I have 13 left. I told you about the OCD I have. Listen how crazy I'm getting. By the way, I have to go do something about that.
Right.
Because
You didn't like the number 13, so
yeah,
you had
so I took another one.
Right, because you wanted 12.
That was a bad number.
Howard, I'm not kidding.
I believe you.
Okay,
Believe me, I have the same thing.
I thought if I don't take this and make it 12,
You'll die.
I'll die on the plane.
Right.
So now that was finally enough to make me feel like, whoa, hey, what's going on? You know, now all of a sudden, Gary wants to strangle me because now I'm Mr. Happy.
Right.
Now I'm working.
Now you're higher than anyone.
These guys are drunk. Now I'm going, let's fucking hit a club in Kyrgyzstan.
I think when your doctor said you should take a Valium, you know, if you needed to ease your discomfort, and you mean take 12 Valium.
So
at a certain point, don't the Valium start to hurt your liver?
I don't know, I guess.
Artie became obsessed with, and I don't even know if there one existed, but Artie became obsessed with that we should all go to the Hilton downtown.
Well, no,
But I don't know if
Attell said
I
that.
got to take a break because it's an hour and a half.
Let me just, this is 2 more minutes.
Go ahead.
All right, so now I have 12 left. I'm feeling all right. Finally, the transport team gets there to take us back to the base. Now, I got a bottle of water. I'm in the front seat, and I'm feeling so amazing. I just don't want it to go away. I take another 3.
Oh, my God.
Now I've taken...
15 of the 20 Valium.
Yeah, so that's 150 milligrams of Valium. And again, I'm 300 pounds, whatever. By the time we get to the base, there was a chick driving, and I'm like almost going, I'm almost trying to pick her up. She's an Army woman. She would have beat the fuck out of me.
Woman hasn't shaved her bush in years.
I got 15 Valium in me. There's a loaded M16 in front of me that the chick has. We get to the base. Now I'm on an Army base.
She asked her for a lap dance?
I'm on an Army base, okay? Now, these guys will say, we're hungry. Let's go to the all-night food there before we go to sleep, because we didn't get home till like 5:30 in the morning, and our flight was 5:30 the next morning. We had 24 hours to kill. I'm running around the base going, yo, what's up? I'm going up to soldiers like, you motherfucker. I'm a drunk dick.
Right.
But it's all Valium. So, then Gary said something to me that made me mad. Gary tries to take a picture of me.
No, tried to video it.
Tried to video me.
And made you mad.
So I got mad at that.
Right.
I'm like, fuck you. Now I'm loud.
He's yelling. The
I'm
USO
yelling.
guy goes, you gotta get him in
Under
his
control.
room.
Right,
No,
so-
you got to put him away.
Right.
You have to get him in his room. He can't be walking around an Army base in this condition.
my
Right,
God.
so because they say, look, the soldiers will shoot you. Like, they don't know what's going on. So I yell at Gary, being a total dick. The next morning, I had to apologize. Jeff Anthony, this Vietnam vet, again, who's seen everything. He doesn't give a fuck about nothing. He comes up to me and goes, look, motherfucker, you're on a military base. You are way too fucked up. He goes, I won't put this in the report. Actually, now that I'm...
Now
Actually,
Yeah, what? You just put it in the report.
Artie's going to get a dishonorable discharge.
now that I'm saying this, fuck, because the end of it was... Oh, fuck.
What?
The end of it was that, and this is good news, we were worried. At the end of all the shows, Jeff Anthony, the USO guy, said, I just talked to Washington. The tour got an A+. They are so happy with you. The guys loved you. Everybody thought every one of you were hilarious. There were hardly any complaints at all, if any.
And maybe President Bush is going to give you guys a medal. Or
And he
Yeah,
said,
bring you
look,
into the White House.
So, and technically, my name is on the tour. So Jeff said, look, this is good for you, Art, because, you know, your tour was a success. And as far as the USO is concerned, it's A+. You can come back if you want,
Great.
you know. But
You
when
just
I
did that.
So they were like, because the guys loved you, and you really great job, man. Give me a hug. Like, you should really be proud of yourself because you went into danger. And after the Valium thing, he said to me the next day, look, I won't put that in the report because if they hear that, maybe they won't want you to come back.
Right.
Of course, now I just said it.
Yeah,
But anyway, it's funny for the air. I don't care. So anyway, he puts me aside, calls me aside, and he goes, and he gets me in a headlock, and he drags me into the room. He literally, this 60-year-old Vietnam vet, puts me to bed like I'm a baby. Wow. Puts the blanket over me. And then this is so funny, man. He goes, now get up tomorrow. We're leaving in 20 hours. And he knows how long I can sleep. And I said, dude, you know what? Just fucking, I'll just get like a condo here or something. I don't ever want to leave. That's what I say to the guy. And the guy looks at me real military-like. This guy, Jeff, and he goes, dead serious. He goes, come on, man, get it together.
So it sounded like you had a pretty grueling trip at times.
Yeah.
What was the worst? Was it with Artie in the airport?
No, the worst was we took a plane out of Kandahar, an army plane out of Kandahar to Bagram on our way back to Kyrgyzstan, and it's what they call a C-130, which apparently everyone in the army knows. It's sort of a legendary shitty plane. Pack them in. It's not even seats. It's just like rows, and that's a mesh on the side. You've probably seen it in a lot of movies. And it's like it was 125 degrees outside. It had to be 140 in the plane. And I couldn't stop sweating, and I kept wiping my eyes, and the sweat kept going to my eyes, and my eyes were burning, and everyone was sweating, but I was like, something weird was going on. I just could not stop sweating. And that was the one point where I thought that I might have an issue. I thought I might pass out or something.
And then what was the best part of your trip?
Shooting a machine gun in the Black Hawk. It's fucking not better than that.
And is this something you would do again in the future?
I would do it again in a heartbeat. I would go again tomorrow. I was already trying to figure out a way to tell my family that I'm going to not be home for Christmas, which of course I can't pull off. But we talked about doing it again next year, and I said something like, if there's a war, and the guy said, oh, there'll be a war, don't worry, we'll be here next year. That made us feel like I would go back again in a heartbeat.
Did your trip change any views you had, like on our troops, or why were there?
No, because I always supported the troops, and I like Artie and I said, the real war is in Afghanistan. That's where we spent our time. So we always supported the troops and continue to. I mean, it hasn't changed my politics. I still don't think we should be in Iraq, but I do see the point that maybe we don't need to be out as quickly.
Robin.
Yes.
Even though Artie didn't have wine or meat-free food at his party, how was it? Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. It was just funny that Artie was hardly at his own party and didn't have anything to eat or drink.
Now, what advice would you give him for next time to throw a party for someone who doesn't eat meat?
Well, he told me that wasn't the real party, that he's planning to do something big later this summer, and he's actually going to get some help. So maybe, with a woman's touch, there might be something there for other people.
What are the odds of that happening?
I don't know. I was like, isn't your mother here? I knew it was going to be bad when I said no.
2 flights, 8 hours apiece. Istanbul's lounge.
That's the picture we need.
Wait, let's see. She passed out. Oh my god, dude! You look. Are you totally asleep?
That's the bunker. Yeah, I'm asleep. I was on a plane for like 18 hours.
Yeah, that's the bunker.
I'm like,
that is crazy.
I'm like, that's the headliner. That's the guy that put it together. Look at that, man. They would just hand us their guns.
Oh my goodness.
When we were bored, they would just say, the kid would go, hey Artie, you want to hang on to the gun? I'm like, all right.
I was in the military and I never held a gun.
I know. It's all changed. Look, they gave us all guns by the helicopter.
Wow.
And I got a 9mm Glock. Look at Jim's hat. Jim's helmet's always crooked though. It's hilarious.
Jim looks like
Dan K from a war movie.
Like special ed, actually.
He looks like the dorkiest guy. Like you should not be there.
You can see how formal I dressed for some of the. That's one of the stand-up acts we did.
Wow.
Me with a Glock.
How heavy was that jacket?
Yeah, you said you'd never fired off guns before, did you?
That was my first time ever.
Wow.
Well, that I admit to. Me and your boyfriend in the barracks where we slept. That's the empty bunker. That's where you got to crawl into.
That's crazy.
And again, they kept letting us like pose with the guns. It was insane.
So funny though.
But Attell, it's weird. Attell is the greatest guy, and he's really great. But he's such a pacifist. Like even faking it,
he wouldn't even pick up a gun, huh?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Getting
Who knew
off,
he was a pacifist?
That's Jeff Anthony. That's the Vietnam vet, our USO guy.
Okay.
He's coming to New York, and I'm going to take him to dinner in the Yankee game, and you got to have him up here. This is an outdoor show. I mean, it's just like, when
He's got his headphones on.
when we were in the shit thing I was telling you about. it was so bad on stage, I had a cigarette. To relieve it, I put it up my nose and I just snorted it.
Oh, I saw this picture. I was like, why is somebody got a cigarette?
And I said, I got to get rid of the shit stench. And when I did that, I coughed for 3 minutes, and I got like a standing ovation for coughing. We waited 20 hours for a flight in one place, so we bought poker stuff. We played poker for about 5 hours. Me, Attell, Nick, and I lost about $82. More poker. This is us all in front of. These are the barracks we slept in most of the time. This was pretty cool. That's all.
Why has Dave got that thing on his face?
Because he wore because of the sweat.
Oh.
That's the military flight. We're in back of us are about 500 soldiers, and that's us in the front. And that's the flight to Kandahar.
You had like a life-changing experience on the USO tour. What caused that?
Well, I mean, just seeing the conditions those soldiers are living in over there, not only living, fighting, and protecting us and our way of life and what they're doing is so important. And I was only there for 4 days, and I was so happy to come home. And when I came home, I was so happy to see my family and my friends. And it made me realize I have the greatest job in the world on a great show. I make money. I do stand-up. I have a very good life. I'm blessed. I'm very lucky. A lot of good friends, a good family, and those guys are, heroes in the sense that they're dealing with it while we get to live a great life over here in the great country. And I came back here happier and more appreciative of my life, but at the same time, really worried about those guys, especially the ones I met. So I'm happier, but I hope, every fucking one of them come back and, the soldiers, every one of them come back and they're able to enjoy the country that they help fucking, save and protect and help for a lot of tours of duty over there. So it's a mixed thing, but I'm changed, yeah. And I'm more political. I'm more educated about the election, and I'm really going to read a lot of things that I'm interested in now, and it's probably the most intelligent way I'm ever going to vote in any election this year, and we'll see what happens,